right, fellas. So ESPN's Bill Barnwell released his top 5 list of NFL teams most likely to improve this season. And Bill predicts Mahomes and the Chiefs as one of those teams to bounce back this season, along with the Lions, Ravens, Giants, and Jets. All 5 of those teams missed the playoffs last season. Doggy, do you think the Chiefs will have a major bounce back season?
I mean, I even hate to put them in this category because you know the Chiefs are going to be competitive. And I don't even like putting the Ravens in the category either because you know they're going to be pretty good. Giants and Jets, I have no problem with. You want to put the Saints there or something. The Chiefs, I'm going to bet on the player. Lewis, Kevin, I'm betting on the player. Everybody thinks, he's not the same. The rankings have been, he's been 18th in the rankings. I think people think that Allen, and there's football fans out there that, sort of want to have a wait-and-see attitude since he wasn't that great last year before he got hurt. Nonsense. Kelsey's got to lose something to prove. The Chiefs got to lose something to prove. They were 6-11 last year. The head coach is one of the great coaches we've ever had. All right, I'll let Lewis break down the offensive line. I've heard there's some issues there. But Walker's going to help their running game. He's going to help their running game. Spags will put together a good defense. I know they lost McDuffie, but he's going to put together a good defense. Geez, they're 10.5 in Vegas with the number, and I would take the over. I trust the quarterback. I'm putting my money on Mahomes.
Yeah, Doug, I'm with you in the sense that putting the Lions, Ravens, and Chiefs on this list is tough because they're going to be better. Of course they're going to be better. They're going to be healthier. They have great quarterbacks. They have better staffs, et cetera, et cetera. But when you think about a Chiefs turnaround, there's 2 different categories. Will they be better and make the playoffs? Probably. Will they be the Mahomes Chiefs we remember? Probably not. Here's the stat Hembo gave me earlier this morning that stopped me in my tracks. Last 4 seasons, 18 Mahomes pass touchdowns outside the red zone. 18, 4 seasons. That's not so bad. The 4 seasons before that, 56 passing touchdowns outside the red zone. They were creating something out of nothing all of the time. They haven't been able to do that since Tyreek Hill left, since they had a reliable downfield threat, since Travis Kelce was in his prime. So they've got to discover how to have that deep ball magic again. They just simply haven't done it. They drafted Xavier Worthy in the first round, hoping that would happen. Hasn't clicked just yet. Maybe it does this year. We talked about the offensive line issues. I've seen Mahomes win with worse obstacles than having a bad tackle. I'm okay with that. The defense, we talked about the McDuffie and some of those questions. Brian Cook, the safety who goes to Cincinnati. There are questions there. Can the young guys replace the veterans that they miss? So questions abound. I think they'll make the playoffs. They're not going to be division winner, Super Bowl champion, that kind of thing yet. I still need to see a little more.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to look different in Kansas City this year. It's going to look different. Do I think that they're going to have a rebound? Yeah. Do I think they will be better than they were in 2025? Yeah. I think their upside will be about how this current iteration of this offense gels early on in the season, as far as the offensive line being able to capture the line of scrimmage, run the football with a lot of authority, with a lot of physicality, which is what Eric Bieniemy wants to do. And then how does he evolve as the season progresses and he gets stronger and stronger, as he just alluded to? He says, look, the more I practice, the better I feel. He's going to have to win with his mind early on in his mastery of this offense, which he has been in it his entire career. Now he could teach it to the young players. I think that's where you're going to see him take leaps as far as him being able to stay in the pocket and really distribute and win because he understands all the nuance of the offense. And then as the season progresses, he kind of breaks outside of that shell and he starts doing some of the Mahomes magic that he's done in the past. And then it's going to be about who at the wide receiver core, who in the wide receiver room steps to the forefront and proves that, look, I can be your guy. I can be your guy, short, intermediate, and deep. Xavier Worthy, do you become that guy? Do you truly become that guy who can be that third-level threat? Is Cyrus Allen as good as many in Kansas City and many who have played the wide receiver position believe he can be in the middle of the field? Can Travis Kelce turn back the clock? Is Josh Simmons going to stay healthy on the left side? Yep. Is Jalen Moore going to be a dependable right tackle? We know the interior 3 is going to be fine and Kenneth Walker is going to be fine. And this young defense, look, they've got some dudes now who are young, have fresh legs, and Spags is going to put them in good spots. It's all going to be about, to me, the offensive line, how this offense evolves, and then whether or not somebody can prove to be Patrick's go-to guy.
I find it really interesting that we all are in agreement that despite the torn ACL and the torn LCL, we still have faith in Patrick Mahomes despite their offensive line questions. you more than anybody has said, I've seen Patrick. It's fine. He'll figure it out. But that's a serious knee injury.
Yeah.
Why are you not as concerned as, let's say, me or some of the fans?
Because I've seen him do it. And I'm never going to doubt, as you said, I'm going to bet on the player every single time. I've seen him do it. I think the biggest thing is the effect Kenneth Walker has on the passing game. Because we talk so much about, Xavier Worthy down the field, that downfield chemistry. Kenneth Walker is going to bring those safeties up close to the line. If he's able to get 6 yards per carry, 7 yards per carry, and these explosive runs, which they struggled with last year, Andy Reid said it after the season. Defensive backs and linebackers were not respecting their play action. They were saying, what Caitlin Clark did a few years ago, just like, it's fine, let him take the 3. That's what teams were doing with the Chiefs running game last year was, hey, you take it, we'll take the passing game. If you've got a legitimate running game threat, that's when things open up, and then the downfield stuff from Mahomes starts. So offensive line down the list for me of concerns.
A thing I like about the Chiefs, they're always the team to beat before the season, and this year, they're a little under the weeds. And I'm telling you, Reed and Mahomes, 2 Hall of Famers, I'll gamble on them over 10.5 under the weeds.
Welcome back to First Take. As we ramp up toward the start of the NFL season, we thought it would be a good time to evaluate the NFC contenders. So, Kevin, take it away with your tiers of NFC contenders.
You know, guys, I hate doing this because fans like to see what happens in the NFL season. This is a spoiler. I'm just telling you what's going to happen early in August. It ruins. It's like when you tell everybody what's going to happen in a show. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to tell you what's about to unfold in the next couple of months here in the NFL. So we're going to do Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. We're going to start with Tier 3. These are the question marks. We talked about this a little bit earlier. With the Bears, I do think they're on the contender tier. That's why they're here. But questions about their pass rush, questions about their offensive line, which we've been talking about all morning. So questions here, but I understand the pathway. Caleb Williams is a superstar. Ben Johnson, one of the best coaches in the league. Vikings here. We talked about it. Kyler Murray needs to play good, not great. He's got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, a defense that's going to give him most pressures in the league. Things are going to be fine there. I just need to see more. San Francisco, questions abound. Injury, distractions, older roster, aging roster, expensive roster, substation. I don't know what the heck's going on over there. They're in Tier 3 for me. Let's reveal Tier 2. Here we go.
There we are.
All right, so I feel great about all of these teams. There may be just one question away. With Green Bay, does Micah Parsons come back as himself? He's ready to play in November, and he looks like the kind of guy that changes the entire gravity of a football field. We're going to move them up a tier. The Detroit Lions, I think their offensive line is going to be better. And if they're healthy in the defensive backfield, they would move up here. This Cowboys team, if they have the 13th or 14th best defense in football, they move up here. With Quinnen Williams, with Caleb Downs, there's a very, very easy pathway there to move up here. This Bucs team, a lot of questions last year. Their defensive effort, yards after catch, tackling, very simple things you can clean up. Reuben Bain changes that. Josiah Trotter changes that. Todd Bowles scheming it up changes that. They could easily move up here. Now let me show you who is up here. So, first of all, if we're just doing the entire NFL for tiers and contenders, this might be it. Because the NFC champion, to me, probably wins the Super Bowl on ESPN in LA in just a couple months. Let's go through it. The LA Rams, we know this. They're going to be on anybody's contender tier. The Seattle Seahawks, probably the most disrespected Super Bowl champion in a decade since the Peyton Manning Broncos. I think the Giants are on that list in 11 and 2007. People, they win the Super Bowl, and the Monday after, we just start talking about 31 other teams. Nobody cares they won the Super Bowl. They know that. They're pissed off about it. Speaking of pissed off, this team right here, still one of the most talented rosters in the league. And by the way, I don't think 1 through 46, as far as active on game day, I don't think there's a huge difference between the talent level here and the talent level here. I think we're starting to talk about how much more talented they are than every other team. I think this roster is going to have a lot to say about that. When you look at how many guys, just do an exercise here. How many guys on this roster would be the second best player on some of these contenders, right? We keep talking about Super Bowl contenders and all this stuff. How many teams would Quinyon Mitchell be the second best player? Jalen Carter, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, on teams we're talking about can win the Super Bowl. This is a deep team. Jalen Hurts can play like an MVP. I like the new offense. These are my top contenders in the NFC.
Reactions, Doggy, go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a major problem with I don't know about the Eagles. I don't know if I put them on the top tier. The two I have a problem with, well, three.
Whoa.
I'm not putting the Bucks on tier. I'm not putting the Bucks on tier 2. The team was 6-2 last year and did not make the playoffs.
Okay.
6-2. They got a lame duck coach. Who knows on Mayfield? This is the last one for them. They are not. If they don't do it this year, they're all out. That Glazer family is going to move. I don't care how good Ruben Bain is. I'm not putting anybody from the NFC South in tier 2. That's the one thing I wouldn't do. I'd put San Francisco up one notch at least.
Despite the substation. Okay.
You know why? I'm going to bet on winning culture. You know, Bosa, Kittle, Shanahan, the quarterback's pretty good. Warner, they got a winning culture in that franchise. They figure out a way. I have a lot of faith in Lynch too. So I'm going to put the Niners ahead, and I'll put Tampa down. And what we said in our first hour, Lewis, I'm not putting the Vikings with Kyle I'm not putting them third, not with that quarterback. Not me. Look at all these other quarterbacks you got on the list. Stafford, Darnold won a Super Bowl. Hurts won a Super Bowl. Prescott's good. You love Goff. Love elite. Williams is good.
Goff. It's
I mean, he's
So
played the Super Bowl.
you're saying you would take Minnesota off of this?
Yes, I
period.
would. Yes, I
Who
would.
would you put on?
No tier?
Well, I got to put in another team.
Who would you put in there?
Well, I'm putting San Francisco up one.
And
So if I
moving the
take
Bucks
Minnesota
down.
off, I got to put a team in, right?
You throw an NFC East.
Who am I? Yeah, I guess you're
Commanders,
right.
Giants.
If you're insisting, I can't put an NFC South team.
Yeah,
in
you hate the
there.
NFC South.
yeah.
I can't
That's
do that.
fair. Yes.
I can't put Arizona in there. You got the 3 NFC West. You got the Bears, Packers, and Lions. And I'm not putting a Giant. You know what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put Washington in there.
Okay.
Would you really?
Okay.
Because of Daniels.
You put Washington
Because
in
of the quarterback. I love
put
that
Washington
quarterback.
in before
Quarterback.
you would put the Giants in.
Yes, I
Yeah,
would because of the
I agree
quarterback.
with that.
No, that's, you know what? Hey, look, you're not going to find a bigger Jaden Daniels fan than me. This team, look, I know that you talked about these two, Kev, and you kind of like, I know you talked about them, but you were still talking
you're
about these
guilty.
two.
They just won the Super Bowl.
But you know what? This team is still as strong as can be. You want to talk about great winning culture. If you listen to Mike McDonald talk,
Yeah.
you still listen to Leonard Williams talk about how much this team loves one another. Have you listened to Sam Darnold talk about how Brian Fleury has come in here and he's picked right up where Clint left off? This team is going to be legit. I know that America overall hates to hear this because they hate this team. They hate how much we cover it. This is the team to watch, legitimately to watch. Okay, offensive line, tackle situation. Let's just assume that it holds up. Let's assume that Javonte Williams, that Jaden Blue can become a dependable number 2. They are going to score points. I'm not worried about that in the least. Caleb Downs, Jayshon Barham, Quinnen Williams, right down the middle of this defense. DeMarvion Overshown stays healthy. Christian Parker has some stuff to work. Have you watched how this team has flown around on defense in the preseason? They're gonna be top half.
Oh.
They're gonna be top half. This team could rise.
Rise. Okay. How far? What is the Cowboys' ceiling?
Well, I think the Cowboys could challenge for supremacy in the East.
I'm with you.
They could challenge for, and that's not just let's just talk about the Cowboys because everybody wants. That's legit. They could rise to challenge for supremacy. The line between these two is going to be very, very narrow. And to me, it's about, hey, look, there's a lot of things that right now that you're going to assume are going to go right in Philadelphia because Philadelphia is Philadelphia, right? And Jalen has been a fantastic quarterback. There's a lot of change going on there right now that you just can't automatically assume is going to take hold and continue to propel them the way it's done in the past. Whereas here, this team is on the rise now. They're on the rise.
What do you guys think about that?
I would say this is the team that is most likely to be up here at the end of the season, if I had to guess.
And you can hate it all you want, but you're going to have to accept it.
And let me
You
throw Vegas in for a second. I think it's the best buy of the whole tournament.
Okay.
Over under 9.5.
Go over. Yeah.
They're going to win. They're winning 10 games.
I agree.
They're winning 10 games.
I agree.
They're winning
agree,
10
brother.
games. My thing just.
Don, you talking great about the Cowboys.
I got you.
That is Mike's
Your mic just could not take us giving compliments to the Cowboys.
You're probably right, but take them over 9.5.
Okay.
You agree, Lewis?
I agree.
Kevin, you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes. We all are in agreement. Watch out for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay.